5 seconds
They
remaining.
always float to the top eventually. Just wait a minute. Ban now.
Radiant's turn to ban.
The Dire get a ban. Someone's connection just drowned.
Here's the Radiant ban.
Dire's
5
ban
seconds
now.
remaining.
They always float to the top eventually. Eventually. Just wait Dire's a minute. Ban now.
Radiant's turn to ban.
Ten seconds. The Dire get a ban.
5 seconds remaining.
Someone's connection just drowned.
Here's the Radiant ban. Here's the Radiant ban.
Dire's
5
ban
seconds
now.
remaining.
They always float to the top eventually. Eventually. Just wait
Dire's
a minute.
ban
10 seconds.
Radiant's turn to ban. 5 seconds remaining.
Dire's turn to pick. 10 seconds. The Dire get a ban.
All
5
right,
seconds
ladies and
remaining.
gentlemen, welcome back. We are here for the Starlight MBTV SCA closed qualifiers between Lotac and Detonator. It is, of course, MLP Dota, joined by the lovely John Expired. John, we're back into Southeast Asia. How the hell do you feel?
I'm feeling great, Mike. You know me, I always love my Southeast Asian games. We've had some time, a little bit more time to have 7.21 really swell into the players. Not much has really changed. You might see the appearance of, if it wasn't banned out, you would have seen the appearance of CK. Lotac has been going at in the off lane quite well, but otherwise, not really too much has changed with the game, so I'm looking forward to how these teams play around what's known and maybe show us something new, Mike.
John, I've got a bone to pick before we get started for the draft. Ohio, of course, being part of Lotac. John, every time we're in the lobby with Ohio, you're offering him Nazi Lamak. I believe that's how you pronounce it.
Nazi.
5
Nazi.
seconds remaining.
Nazi
What did I say?
Lemak, yes, Mike. Nazi.
What did
It's an S, Mike. It's not a Z. It's not a Z.
Dire's turn.
What happened this time, John? You didn't offer it to him.
Well, I had something to fix, Mike. I didn't really have time to sit around and chat in the lobby this time around, unfortunately. But
Fair.
Ohio, if ever you do watch a VOD, you know, that offer for Nasi Lemak still stands. I'm just nowhere near Malaysia now, but,
Finally came
you know,
up for
if ever the
air.
time comes, I owe you a plate of Nasi Lemak, I guess.
Thank you,
10
John.
seconds.
Thank you for apologizing. Detonator, John, they've started out with the
5
Elder
seconds
Titan.
remaining.
This hero, like, people I feel like really underestimated. Right, you start a team fight with it, you end a team fight with it, you stall a team fight with it. There's so much. Oh my, hold on a minute. Enigma comes out as well, John. You know how excited I get when both these heroes are on the field. And Lotac, they've gone for the Troll Warlord and Tusk, which is very standard. We see that all the time, nothing too surprising there. But talk to me, what the hell's going on so far?
You know, it's a really aggressive opening from Detonator. We already know what they want for this kind of opening. You have the Elder Titan, the Enigma. Both of these heroes synergize
5
quite well. They
seconds
work
remaining.
really great in team fights. The Elder Titan can set up ganks. Excellent. We've seen so many big plays for the Elder Titan starting fights. We've seen them really cause trouble for the enemy team when that sleep goes off in the middle of initiation. So it could be an issue for Lotac with that Elder Titan. And the follow-up from Enigma is just amazing. The synergy of Black Hole and Earth Splitter is just really, really strong. And I feel like you're probably going to have a hard time forcing Detonator in 5v5 if you're Lotac. Your line can kind of play around it. If your Tusk positions quite well, you can basically dodge a lot of spells, but that's really asking for a lot from a Tusk. I mean, we've seen a lot of players do it, but it's never easy to pull that off, especially against something like the Enigma and Elder Titan together. So I want to see how Lotac plays around it. I feel like there are a few hard counters left in the pool, Mike. We might be seeing the Silencer come out, although I feel like that hero definitely has fallen out of favor a fair bit. But that option is certainly there if you want to make it harder for Detonator to force these fights. You're going to need something that clears out quite fast as well, because the push potential of that Enigma is quite strong. So you want something that can clear out those Eidolons quite fast, make sure to delay that push, and kind of make sure that the black hole never comes up, Mike.
Yep, absolutely. Like you mentioned, the Silencer is so out of meta right now. Highly doubtful Lotac would even bother, but like you said, it's there if they want to take it. See what else is on the cards for them. Plenty of
5
options.
seconds remaining.
Detonator, though. Last band, before we
Here's
do
the
get
Radiant
into that
ban.
second pick phase, they will indeed get into the puck, which I suppose was one of those other counters. Considering the Dream Coil, you can just cancel from a large range away, especially if you get that Aghanim Scepter up on the puck. Lotac now. Final ban for them. May. We've seen both these teams in so many open qualifiers, in so many close qualifiers, and you know what, John, you called it, there it is. But if I may continue, we've seen them so many times throughout qualifying, and both these teams have been struggling to try to get to a minor or major. They've gotten really far this time, right? Like, they are one series away from the final of these close qualifier, which I
10 seconds.
believe Boom ID is waiting for them at the end for the winner anyway.
5
But I'm just going to say, it's
seconds
great to see both these teams making it so far.
Oh, definitely so. I mean, they've been consistently in these close qualifiers, as you mentioned. We've been casting them for a long time now. I feel like at least a year each. Detonator, since they were formed, which was around last year when the Japanese organization picked up the Filipino squad. A lot of changes here and there, but Detonator is still around. Lotac is a bit more stable, I feel. You have, again, a few people coming in and out, but I feel like their core roster hasn't changed too much as well. And it's good to see them go this far, but unfortunately, again, only one team can really go far. You know, after this, we'll still have to see if either of these teams can beat out Boom ID, who have been pretty much I guess the minor gatekeeper for Southeast Asia. I mean, they've been the last minor, and I believe they did quite well as well. So we'll see if they can stand up to Boom ID, because I mean, if you want to go far, you'd have to be able to match up with teams like Boom ID anyway. Because as good as they are, Boom ID isn't quite the top crop of Southeast Asia yet. So you still have a lot of proof with all of these games, Mike.
Yeah, and not to mention as well, both Detonator and Lotac lost to Boom ID in the upper bracket throughout this group stage already. So certainly, like you said, the winner of this series does have their work cut out for them with a team like Boom ID, who has already taken a series off each.
10
Nevertheless,
seconds.
however, not only did we see a Silencer come out, but the Dragon Knight did follow
5 seconds
from the side of
remaining.
Detonator. Of course, John, the drafting is extremely different to what we've been seeing in the China region, and I dare say it's a lot more open, isn't it? Like, there's a lot more going on here, from what I can tell. The DK, however, what are you thinking about this hero? Is this the kind of pick we need to see from Detonator?
I feel like Detonator really just kind of trying to settle your draft. It gives a lot of good push for Detonator along with that Enigma, so you can melt those towers down. Once you hit level 6 in the DK, start pressuring lanes out. It's a really good frontline tank hero. It does good enough damage as well. So I feel like it does fit into Detonator's lineup quite nicely. It's not really the bombastic hero you want to see coming out with something like the Enigma and Elder Titan. You feel like you want something that Synergizes a bit stronger, but you do opt for that instead. The Lotac does respond with the Underlord. I'm not sure if we're going to be seeing the Ohio Underlord come out here, Mike. I feel like it's very likely we're going to see that run as a core in the offlane. But this is definitely a hero that it's still fairly popular. I believe it's been picked up a fair bit right now. Let me just check real quick.
10 seconds.
Oh, I think I was wrong. Not quite. It's
5
definitely
seconds
tapered
remaining.
off. I mean, it's not here you see too much of, and it's really just kind of fallen flat. You have to rely on an ultimate, which is situational at best. Its control is a great route, but it's not the most instantaneous lock. You really need to synergize that skill with a few others with good AoE control. I feel like the Firestorm is going to be really helpful here in clearing out those Eidolons, and it should be fairly good. And I mean, with a Tusk, you can really hold people in the pit, so I can see the value in that Underlord. I'm just not super confident in this pick, as again, it's just been underwhelming for a while now, Mike.
It really has been. I think we talked about it a while back as well, but just doesn't seem to have that same influence. Then again, however, a lot of teams aren't going to be playing against this kind of pick very often, so perhaps they're not really sure how to go up against it in the lane, because, well, at the very least, back when it was meta, it was very, very difficult to try and counter this Underlord pick. Nevertheless, of course, Detonator, we'll see what the plan is from them. I suppose that route is going to be pretty nice against the Enigma as well. Lotac doesn't look too bad, but then again, you look at Detonator, not only have you got that black hole from the Enigma, you've got that Elder Titan Stomp, and you've now got that lasso available, so there's just so much control coming out for that Troll Warlord. Like, it's not going to be the easiest time in the world for Lotac to be able to allow the Troll Warlord to just run around and do whatever he wants.
Definitely not going to be an easy time here for Lotac. You know, I've been thinking about it, Mike. Ohio, we've seen him play the Underlord a few times around last year, early on when Underlord was still fairly popular. We saw him hit some pretty darn good timings on the
5
Underlord.
seconds remaining.
I'm not sure if it's going to be super significant here, but if we're looking at, say, a 10-minute Vanguard boots, that could be pretty strong. I guess it's going to be really hard to take out that Underlord. Kind of has the same effect as the DK. Just being annoying there, not really easy to kill off. The one thing with Underlord is I feel like he doesn't have as great of damage output compared to the Dragon Knight. He definitely doesn't push as fast. But you do have that frontliner core that can just stand in front and take the punishment. I guess one good thing about the Underlord as well is that you do slow down the physical damage coming out from Detonators, so that DK, the Eidolons, are going to do a bit less damage. But that Lifestealer pickup from Detonator actually really screws for that Underlord, I feel like.
Certainly so. Lifestealer does love any hero with high HP. See how they do run the Lifestealer, John, because you and me personally, we don't see these heroes very often anymore with the regions we've been casting. But let me tell you, John, it feels so damn good to be back to Southeast Asia, where we do start to see these kind of drafts, these crazier drafts, I want to say, these more entertaining drafts. Lotac, however, last pick for them. You could make the argument they do be slightly behind in their draft, right? Like, it doesn't really look perhaps as well-rounded as Detonator right now. I mean, you could correct me, John, I could be wrong here. But Lotac do seem to be slightly on the back foot throughout the drafting phase for the moment.
Yeah, it does feel like Lotac is a bit more responsive. I mean, they've responded to the Enigma with the silencer pickup. They're really just going along with what Detonator wants, picking something that works well against it. I feel like they have the potential to outplay Detonator with these hard counters. I mean, the combination of Tusk Silencer as your support duo is pretty strong. The roaming potential early on is really quite good. If you can start getting those successful ganks going, your Silencer is going to have a good amount of int by the mid-game, and that should slow down the momentum of Detonator by a fair bit if they manage to get those successful ganks going. Lotac does close out with the Monkey King. I feel like that is a good pickup against against a DK, against a Lifestealer. It's pretty good here to just kite around there. I'm really not sure what to say. Both teams seem to have pretty balanced drafts. It just feels like Detonator definitely wants to be much more active than Lotac does. Lotac, I feel, with the cores they have, kind of wants to slow down just a bit, maybe not as active as Detonator. It's definitely on Detonator to really play around their cooldowns. They want to play around Dragon Form, they want to play around that Black Hole. When it's up, they want to play around the Lasso. So it's on Detonator to be really active in this map. It's Lotac. I feel they will be playing a bit responsive, but the pressure's not on them to get these fights started, Mike.
Absolutely. We'll get into this game very soon. It should be a very fun one to watch. Again, both these teams are playing for their lives, essentially, in these qualifiers. The winner of this series will go on Boom ID in the grand final. And of course, the winner of that series will make it directly to the Starladder Minor. Big deal for any of the three teams that are left in the qualifier to make it to those minors, try to get some DPC points and some money. Probably more important for these people because, money does matter with these teams. Less. John, I hope you've had a good day. I definitely have. I've been very excited about casting today.
Yeah, it's been a good day so far, Mike. It just had, it's about 1 p.m. Singapore time. It's. I'd say the weather right now is fair. It's not amazingly cool. It's not melt your skin off hot, but could be better, Mike. But hey, we're inside. We're watching Dota 2. Can't get any better than that.
No. By the way, what did you have for lunch? Because you did mention you had lunch.
It's family cooked lunch a bit late. We had some linguine and sardines, Mike. Sardines and linguine. Linguine and sardine. I'm not sure which is conjugation. It's pretty good.
It doesn't sound Filipino to me, John.
It's just the presence of sardines kind of makes it very Filipino, Mike.
Prepare for battle.
Thank you for that, John. Game has started. We will move into it. What's the good luck, have fun's going out. I imagine both these teams do probably scrim with each other a lot, John. Similar kind of tier bracket. Always good to see a bit of good sportsmanship coming out early on in the game. Do see an early smoke out from the side of Detonator. They want to try and get themselves a very early first blood if they can pull it off, but unfortunately for their sake, nobody from the side of Lotac is around in that bottom jungle.
And that does give them some info as to what Lotac wants to do. It also does just feel like a bit of a wasted smoke. They managed to drop a nice ward at least, watching that jungle area in the bot lane. So that off lane for Sammy should be a bit easier to manage. Just a tad bit, but otherwise... Yeah, it looks to be a fairly... I don't know, just a quiet rune. Coming up at 0 seconds in. Just going to be nice and calm. No real big exchange to go for here, Mike.
And of course, I was wondering when this was going to come up. We do have the classic SEA pause. John, this makes you very, very, very happy. I know you always are very satisfied with these.
Yeah, it's always good, Mike. I think the one thing I'm disappointed with right now is that we're not seeing these Lunar New Year festivities popping out yet. We're not seeing the pig spam. We're not seeing the fireworks spam. It's completely disappointing. What's this about? Pause for
Damn H, asking a question, perhaps trying to get some mind games going. Raven telling him he can play any role he wants.
Cast off the lines.
He did switch out to the position 4 role, so I guess that's why you two teammates are ribbing each other a bit.
Of course, like you said, 2 very quiet bounty runes coming out from either team. None of them really wanting to engage too early on. Get to the laning stage, where it does seem like Sam H will be on that Bat Rider up the safe lane of the Dire, but he will be up against the tri-lane of Lotac and Raven. Already going to come say hello on that Tusk. Going to be the easiest lane in the world for that Bat Rider. When you look at Detonator right now, they are running a dual laner down bot. We still do have RR in the mid lane, just denying creeps for the DK. We'll see if he does make a rotation down to the bot lane as well, or whether he'll go up to the top lane and try and help out the Bat Rider.
Yeah, it certainly feels like it's going to be a rough time for Sam H here up top if he's going to be left alone. He did have to go for Firefly level 1 as well to cut into those trees up top, and that really will slow down his early game form, his potential really harass scam here. He's just going to have to soak some EXP, hope to hit a good time in his level 2, and hope that Lotac gets a bit bored of this top tri-lane and move on.
Well, I'm just having a look at RR again. Does actually move his way into the jungle for the moment, and he will stick around there. Yeah. Meanwhile, Ben-Hur not having the greatest time up against a Monkey King, which is to be expected. I mean, Monkey King, just Jingu Mastery is just a very, very strange passive to have in the game, and it's to work out pretty darn well if you are that Monkey King.
Yeah, and he's a melee hero with pretty significant attack range, Mike. I feel like DK can kind of match up with the power balance it's out, but before then it's kind of hard for Ben-Hur to really match up against Chuan here. Although he's doing fairly okay with himself, at the very least keeping up with the last hits, but not quite getting the denies he needs.
No, absolutely not. And while Sam H, again, having a tough time as expected, the Silencer, although not meta, is still very, very strong in that laning phase. Going to be very annoying for Sam H to try and get in that XP range, let alone trying to get last hits in the lane. He is still sitting at level 1, and the side of Lotac, like the tri-lane, they're all about to hit that level 2 mark as well. So Sam H is starting to fall significantly behind in that XP, considering he's going solo up against that tri-lane.
Yeah, he's definitely not getting as much EXP as he wants. Batrider does want to put a good timing in level 6, so they can at least clear out the jungle if they opt to do that. I just don't think Sam H is going to hit that good time here.
Raven got a very, very nice shards, but couldn't get the tree down in time. Nevertheless, again, they're doing their job, and there's a blip coming out from Sam H. Very nice from him. That's the first one of the game, by the way, John.
That's what we want to see, Mike. It's all about the pigs.
Well, I thought he was putting out the flame break, but it was just a pig, which it looked very, very similar, I'll be honest. Mid lane, still going fairly strong for either side. Looks like Ben-Hur has gone ahead just slightly. It is still very, very, very even. The one lane that isn't going well, at the very least for Lotac right now, is the bot lane, where Raging Potato is basically free farming on this lifestealer. He has found himself 5 last hits ahead of the Troll Warlord, who is in 2nd place.
Yeah, it's a hard time for you to really just solo here as the Underlord. I mean, there's only so much pressure you can really apply. I'm sure you can do a fair bit against something like a Lifestealer if you spam out that Firestorm often, but you know, it costs a fair bit of mana. You don't really have the biggest mana in the world as the Underlord. All you can really do is clear out waves and try to farm for yourself, but pulling down the enemy core is really not an option.
Big trouble, John Raven. Fly solo. Still making the chase. He will not be able to get the final right clicks off to get him killed, but very close when coming out from the side of Detonator. The shards, of course, Raven was trying to get a block off for himself, but he did end up missing. Nevertheless, he does manage to run out and heal himself up. See where he does head off to. Trying to get some kills going for his team. Meanwhile, again, I looked at this mid lane and I said Ben-Hur was struggling on that DK, but he seems to be evenly matching up with the Monkey King for the moment. Chuan, he does have 14 denies, but somehow the DK manages to stay even in terms of last hits.
It's really the nature of DK looking, even against something like a Monkey King. He doesn't quite have enough burst to really kill off the DK now.
From the tag team is a thing, and it's a lot of damage. But Ben-Hur's still a tanky DK, but will not be enough. Surely not anyway. Ben-Hur's still making a run for it. One more right click will do it, and Chuan will barely find it. What the hell was that range coming up from the Monkey King, John? I mean, he hit him from a mile away.
I don't see any problems there, Mike. It's perfectly balanced here. He's been in the game for a long time now. I don't get why you'd be complaining at this point, Mike. This is to be expected. He's a melee hero, Mike. What can you do?
Oh my. Nevertheless, a first blood coming out from Lotac. Meanwhile, the bot lane, it looks like Detonator want to repay the favor. Ohio making a run, a nice TP play, and it looks like they won't be able to cancel it in time. Nevertheless, Raging Potato does manage to pick up a very, very quick Midas on that
Sam
name.
H.
Sam H. Top lane does end up going down. The Raven will be traded in return. Still a nice pickup for Lotac. But John, if I may, that Midas on the lifestealer could be a big problem again for Lotac. I mean, Raging Potato is free farming his way to the back.
Yeah, and I don't really see any good way for Detonator for Lotac to control this lifestealer thing. So
he thinks otherwise, John. He gets a dump at the bot lane, and now he wants to go after Raging. One more hit would have done the Jingu Mastery, but Chuan just lets the lifestealer go for the moment. Nowhere to cancel off that TP, and a very, very nice rotation from Monkey King.
definitely so, and pretty darn good rune to have for that as well. That haste for really making sure that rotation was fast. And certainly you do want to go fast if you are Lotac. As well, I feel like right now Detonator is getting what they want from these lanes, right? And you have RR who's been free farming this Enigma, you've had a free lifesteal.
Ben-Hur again gonna find himself in trouble, though Chuan will have to turn around. Ben-Hur did commit that ultimate and just turned around and started man-fighting because he couldn't actually get out of those shards. Turns out it did work out for him. In fact, they try to go even further because RR is there to back him up now. Ben-Hur will slowly start chipping away at that mid-tier 1 tower. Stun will go out. Now the Elder Titan there as well. They will stomp him up. Chuan, Mischief Dodge was not really successful, but won't matter. He will be able to get out of there safely. Will salve up and may go back in now. They shouldn't be expecting to stick around, although here comes Raven as well. They will go after her. A nice stun though coming out, but the shards will block him off. The stomp as well being dodged by that snowball. Now Yamate, his life was almost gone, but it looks like RR will be dead instead. And the minus instant coming out. Yamate, he will manage to walk his way out of there safely. The Eidolon chasing him down, but he won't be fast enough.
Yeah, again, a nice counter initiation coming out from Lotac there. Just that salve onto Chuan, making sure he was helping him to come back in. A beautiful snowball dodge on that stomp, and some of the stun locking from the detonator wasn't there. If you can't control that, you can burst him down fast enough. He will pump out a lot of damage, Mike.
Certainly. Lotac taking full advantage of their chance. All shards missed again by Raven, but nevertheless, Chuan is there, and Snowball will connect on Fly Solo. He's in big trouble, and the Balance Strike will get the job done. Chuan is just playing out of his mind on this Monkey King right now. 4-0-2 at the 8.5 minute mark.
Yeah, he's certainly been very active. Looks like Raging Potato will be over here.
Not quite. He will rage up. TP away. No lucky ensnares coming out for Skem either.
Is under attack.
With that, they will go after the T1, which, I mean, you can't be unhappy, right? If you're a Lotac fan right now, 7-1, they are having a fantastic time.
Definitely a good time if you are a Lotac fan, as you mentioned. They are getting everything what they want from these lanes. I feel like Detonator is really not too far behind. Less than 1k in a lead so far for Lotac, and Detonator does have some tools in their hand that really hasn't been utilized. I mean, they've had a free farming Enigma, and he does have his Dominator up. They've had a Lifestealer who got 6 that will, you know, it's going to pile up fairly soon for Raging Potato. His farm will just kind of accelerate once he can keep maximizing that cooldown to Midas. And then, I guess if you don't keep two heroes in check, you're going to have a bit of a rough time with Lotac.
Wow. Chuan actually just using Mischief to turn into a tree and then jumps away. No lasso coming from the Batrider. I'm not sure if it was because of the Mischief, but nevertheless, they will be pushing in that mid-tier 1 tower. Lotac will be there, however, to defend. But the Eidolons will keep up the good job, and, well, they will get the tier 1 as well. RR claims that for himself, and it looks like they're more than happy to just get the hell out of there immediately afterwards. Though I say that, Raging Potato sticking around in the enemy jungle. Yep. Nobody will really be around to try and take him out. They may actually go have a play against Raven. Down to that bot lane on the task. Why so? We're gonna spot out Chuan on that Monkey King. Nice ward being planted, though Chuan got him out. Raging will be there to help him out if necessary, though Chuan does not seem to pick it whatsoever. Even comes in as well, and they just blow up Fly Solo and Raging Potato. It's like you constantly see him TPing away, John. He just tries to help out as that lifesteal, but really can't up against that Monkey King burst.
Yeah, it's a hard time, I guess. At the very least, use your life story, but I don't think Raging Potato is really in any sort of danger as long as rage up, so should be fine in most instances. They probably overextended just a tad bit. At the very least, a pretty nice ward to have. On the dark side, pretty good information to get from there. Not the most obvious spot as well, so I don't think Lotac will be aware of that anytime soon.
They're going again. Raging Potato falls very low. He'll be okay. Make his walk out, but really just the power of the Monkey. Meanwhile, top lane, Skem could be in trouble. Sam H does have the lasso, couldn't quite catch up, does just leave him be. And they do just opt to go for the tier 1 top tower now. Lotac, they do scramble to try and get there to defend. They have smoked up. They're going to go for the pizza move. They won't be there quite in time. It does seem like Detonator were aware that something was going wrong. The Raven has spotted out Ben-Hur. Snowball will be there, and they will get the start off with the Walrus Punch as well. Ben-Hur, can he actually make his way out of this one? A nice shards from Raven, and now the body blocks as well, but Ben-Hur is so darn tanky. Balance Strike is a lot of damage, and somehow he's still making his way out now. RR does have the Black Hole available. They will back off, and the Global Silence comes out, and they will knock get the kill onto that DK.
Yeah, again, they were trying to go for the tankiest target on Detonator's side. Not the easiest here to kill off. And I feel like you do still kind of lack damage on this Monkey King despite that very beautiful early start. You're going to need a few more items up before you can really take care of that DK just yet. It's a nice little trade for Detonator, I suppose. Again, they don't really lose out much. They managed to beat out that global silence, which means that their black hole will not be interrupted if they choose to use it in the next 2 minutes.
See if they do. Of course, we haven't seen a black hole come out yet from R. He's tried to get in there to use it, but
Radiant
hasn't
are
quite
scanning for
found the
enemies.
right spacing. And well, now they will go for a smoke up. Detonator, who is the target, however. Of course, Scam would be lovely, considering as well he's already got a team edge up on that Troll Warlord. Scam does show himself again at that bot lane, though it does appear that he's aware something's array, but not aware enough. Detonator should have spotted him out. They do loop around. Well, Scam is surrounded right now. Will he even bother with the black hole? Maybe not. He does, just in case, because the Tusk was in the back lines. He does get 2 of them, and Raven goes for the snowball. Tries to like it meanwhile fun. He will commit the ulti as well. But can he actually man-fight 4 of them right now? Well, he doesn't need to because he does have help around, and they're just wiping them on the side of Detonator. Lotac trying to back out now. They do end up losing Tron, however, and they end up losing Ohio. Raging Potato still moving forward. They will be able to find Raven, and Yamate is the last man standing. John, it's a full team wipe coming out at the 13-minute mark.
And that's just really well executed from Detonator. I thought that black hole was a bit of a whiff from RR, but just catching out the Tusk just like that was definitely a good move to make. They do end up overcommitting there with the Monkey King with basically everyone on the attack side, and they lose their tier 2 as well. Really good moves from Detonator. Again, they managed to force a fight when that global silence is down, and that's really where Lotac's weakest. They really rely on interrupting that with global silence, that black hole, to take that 2 away from Detonator to really take control of those team fights. Without it, they're just really at the mercy of Detonator right now, Mike.
Well, they've gone for a smoke attempting again. They spawn out the Eidolon. One has spotted the target. Goes for the TP. Snowball was there, however, from Raven, and a nice pickup coming out from the side of Lotac. In fact, they may even go for a bit more. They do move their way forward into the enemy jungle, but it does look like it's just for the bounty runes. So now an 11-6. Okay, net worth lead, however, is the way of Detonator. Of course, we didn't really mention, but Ben-Hur, he did manage to pick up that Blink Deck now DK. So you've got another form of initiation coming out from that Dragon Knight. Seems to get slightly harder. Though again, as well, you look at Skim on that Troll Warlord, he now has the full Battle Fury up, so expect that farm to accelerate quite a bit on Skim.
Yeah, definitely so. I think right now what Lotac needs to do is buy some space for Skim, maybe get 1 or 2 more items going, and that's when you're really going to cook.
Being caught out. The Ursula is there, the lasso as well, just in case, and let the Ancients do all the work though. Scam, he gets time to use the ultimate. The Life Sealer, he took way too long to get out of there, and now Scam, still being chased down, will end up losing his own life, and there's some nice Ancients to be taken if they do wish. However, they will go for the tier 1 top tower instead. Detonator, they had a bad start, but I mean, they're really pulling this this mid-game off now on their side. Like, Lotac does seem to be on the back foot.
Yeah, it comes down to drafts as well. Detonator definitely has to play a bit more active at this point in the game, and they certainly are, Mike. They're applying all the pressure they can. They've taken a good amount of towers. Now the map is slowly shrinking for Lotac, and that's not a good sign, as, you know, Scam went for a farming build in his troll. He's not going to have too much space to find that farm down.
They're going up to Ben-Hur. Snowball shards will connect. No, in fact, they won't. Ben-Hur just felt the cold breeze behind him, but he managed to run out of there safely. But we'll just continue farming up on Scam. Probably really the only option they have right now. The mid lane, Chuan is trying to go for a kill. Sam H is out of there. Wukong's command will make it out just in time, but will it be enough? Chuan is copying so much damage and he will go down to Raging Potato. Now Raging though, he is in trouble. No way out of this one. He's got the in. Can he get it off? No, he can't. Now the Black Hole comes out. Global Silence immediately is there from Yamate, however. And it looks like both sides perhaps want to back off because Yamate, he's losing a lot of life, and now Ben Hurt's here. He doesn't have the Dragon form available, but they will continue to chase, and Raven tries to get the shards off. In fact, Scam will commit the ultimate and does get a very nice kill on Supply solo. And it does look like Lotac does barely manage to come out on top in that engagement.
Yeah, it was a, it's really unfortunate you lose Chuan like that, but at the same time, you get some 2 pivotal kills. Getting that kill on the Lifestealer is pretty big, considering how far ahead he is in terms of network might, and that does give a lot of gold back to Lotac's way, but they still have to get control back in this map. I feel like you're definitely going to want a few more defensive wards, in this case, especially for Scam, as you will want him farming up fairly safe. You don't want him to get ganked up like he did last time. Again, because if they keep Scam down, he's not really going to be able to have too much of an impact in this game. So you really will have to ward that bot angle, at least for Lotac's side. Detonator's side, I feel like just wait for your cooldowns again and force a fight. Or, just force a fight now. Yeah,
Chuan, he's being chased down. Meanwhile, mid lane as well. Looks like Raging Potato will find Yamate. And, well, Chuan, he does manage to jump in the trees and get the hell out, but the aggression coming out from Detonator is something to be watched. Of course, the Radiance, John, we didn't even talk about that, but Raging Potato, these items coming out so darn fast on this Lifestealer, and he will go for a very early Roshan as well. Meanwhile, that top lane will continue to be pushed in. It does look like they will commit that Underlord ultimate to try and get back up there. However, they must realize the Roshan is going down. They do scan it out as well. Lotac, how do you even initiate into this? Global Silence is not going to be available for another 13 seconds. Black Hole, though, is also going to be unavailable, but they will start. Ohio was the first one in, but he's popping a lot of damage, and now the last soul as well. They want to take him out, and they do it. Now Raven, he's been left all by himself in the Earth Split on Raging Potato again with a double kill, and they'll just go back to that Roshan.
Yeah, I feel like Lotac's definitely in no position to fight. Just initiating like that definitely felt a bit reckless, just kind of staggered and not really the kind of movement into that kind of pit you want. I feel like you definitely want to be closer in that case, but looks like they were rushing to try to interrupt that Roche fight. Didn't quite work out well. So now Detonator gets 2 free kills. The Roshan, the Aegis. It's going to be really hard to take the next team fight, especially since Black Hole will be up in 30 seconds as well, Mike.
Certainly so. Gem just trying to farm up as fast as he possibly can on this troll. He's gonna have the BKB up next. Still, their Raging Potato is so scary, but they will initiate on him. He'll manage to back off safely. Yeah, that is a very hard target to aim for. Speaking of hard targets as well, Ben Hur will be grabbing a BKB of his own on that Dragon Knight. He's getting close to that point where he's gonna have the level 3 Dragon form. Well, those early level 3s, they do tend to hurt quite a lot when you're playing a hero like DK.
Yeah, it definitely does hurt. DK as well really benefits from his increased Dragon form, of course. Often just add a little bit more utility to that spell and a little bit more damage, so you will have to watch out. Once that BKB is up, you definitely can't take Ben Hur out anymore. It's going to be a really hard time. I don't think you're farmed enough on any of your cores to really man-fight him, along with the Lifestealer so far. So, again, it's Lotac's turn to really slow down, just try to find farm. And Detonator has such a huge advantage that they should really be pressing it. They shouldn't be using this time to farm up, as eventually Scam might be able to catch up, and you're not really built for farming right now on Detonator's side. Lifestealer does have that Midas, but he's really not a very good flash farmer. The DK is a decent flash farmer, but you're going to have to expand the Dragon form to make that happen quite well. Although you can clear out quite fast with Deep Fire, just compared to a Battle Fury Troll, it's not the best matchup in terms of raw, creep whacking. So you will have to play around the advantage to strengths you have right now.
Well, on that Enigma, he does manage to finish off the full Guardian Greaves now, so that Global Silence not going to be nearly as effective, and that is a very, very quick Guardian Greaves coming out from that Enigma. Again, very concerning for the side of Lotac, and Raging Potato now does have a full Manta up as well. Like Chuan did show himself up at that top lane, but he does get pinged out, and they are actually going to go for him. The scan is there, but he will jump the trees, but no, they do break the tree line down. RI, he has found him, and Chuan, he is a big, big pickup to be able to find from the side of Detonator. Midnight Pulse, John, coming up from RR was just really on point, and fortunately for Chuan, like, he kind of was on the edge of that Midnight Pulse, but it barely caught out the tree he was on top of.
Yeah, and taking Chuan out just means you can basically take a free tower, I feel. A lot of damage right now is really coming out from this Monkey King. Not having him up for the next defense just means I think they're going to have to forfeit this tier 2 up top. It looks like Lotac will try to get the trade in that tier 1 down block, but that's really not too much of an issue for Detonator at this point in the game. We're 23 minutes in. That tier 1 down bot isn't that significant anymore.
Well, it feels like they just keep going. And they're not going to go for that Detonator. They have the Black Hole, they have the Dragon Form. I mean, Infest is even a better one. Potato currently is uncountable. He still holds the edges as well, so this is going to be a very hard defense. The side of Lotac to try and pull off. We'll see if they can get the job done. But again, that Global Silence not going to be as effective because of those Guardian Greaves. It will dispel that silence that comes out. He'll get started, he jumps in, the stun is there, and Ohio is fully gone. Rukon's command committed as well, but John, it's away from the rats. So they can just get it from the other side. They will root them up, but Ohio, he just fought back, he can't afford to die. Yamate is the one being chased down, and the Excluder does come out as well. And her, gonna try and fight a nice snowball does come out, however, and they will go after Raging Potato, but now are still holding on to that Black Hole. Scan getting very low, he will pump the ultimate. Black Hole actually cancelled off. Just casted it at the wrong time, and now the Sun Lotus may be able to pull this one off, although Raging Potato is still a massive problem. Skem is being chased down, is gone as well. Now they want Chuan, who's just trying to make a run for it, but they found him. Ben-Hur, he gets the right tree, and it looks like Chuan is also going to go down this engagement. None of those heroes, John, have buyback available. That is at least one Rax coming up. They could probably just go for the bot Rax as well.
Yeah, I don't see Detonator really pulling out here. I'm sure they don't have a Black Hole, but they've just managed basically a full team wipe towards a couple of buybacks there as well. So probably just going to go for this tier 2 and pull back, I guess. And the Aegis did expire there as well. No, Detonator's still feeling fairly confident. Go in, why not?
It just looks like Raging Potato and Ben-Hur are currently just unkillable. That's the thing. He's got Dragon Form up again. It felt like he was just in that Dragon Form a second ago, but apparently it's not a problem for him. He'll have it back up, and they may just go for Megas. Because it's like, how do you kill these guys? The Piglets come out as well while they're at it. Meanwhile, Raven jumps in. This is the Walrus hunt, however, on Raging Potato, and they will opt to back off. Are almost getting caught in those shards, but then you have the stomp there from Fly Solo to make sure there'll be no chase coming up from the side of Lotac. And now that's 2 Raxes down for the Radiant End.
Yeah, it's going to be a rough time to recover from this. If you're Lotac, they don't really have the greatest wave clear here. Your supports really can't clear out this wave. It's quite fast. Your cores, I guess the Monkey King Antro can kind of deal with him. It just feels like it's really going to be hard to bounce back here. I feel like you still don't have enough farm and Skem for him to be a real menace. He definitely lack a bit of farm in Chuan now. He has fallen a bit behind, and you're going to be struggling to match up in these team fights. Really going to have to get that perfect initiation going if you're Lotac.
Well, they have smoked up and are running the right way, but Detonator are waiting for them, and now the lasso immediately coming out onto the Tron wall. He does have the ultimate back, never mind, he doesn't. Earthsplitter comes out and destroys him, and they call GG. 26 minutes into this game, and it is all over. Detonator do pull off a very convincing win. John, we talked about this in the drafting phase. Lotac was being more responsive to the Detonator picks than they probably should have been. And it looks like they kind of put themselves in a bit of an uncomfortable position. They had a good start in the early game, but they left Raging Tato learned to farm and the DK, but Ben-Hur, he didn't have a problem in the mid lane apparently. And with that, I mean, if you can't kill the cause of Detonator, I guess there was just no way to win this game for the side of Lotac.
Yeah, definitely so, Mike. Again, it came down to that draft. Lotac definitely was just responding to Detonator's picks, so Detonator had a much more cohesive game plan. They had picks that they knew they could play together quite well, and Lotac was just kind of scrambling to get counter picks. It felt like in this game. Hopefully in game 2 we'll see Lotac change up their draft a bit, play what they're confident in, and force actions onto Detonator instead. And I'm looking forward to how that game 2 will.
Aubrey,
Ano?
wala pa tayo nakanta eh. Ano kanta natin sa isa't isa?
Even if the sun refuses to shine, even if romance run out of rhyme, you will still have my heart until the end of time. 'Cause all I need is you, my Valentine.
Thank you, Aubrey.
Kung pwede lang naman, pwede bang pagbigyan pag-ibig ko sa'yo? Di pa patalo, kung okay lang naman, pwede bang ikaw na lang ang bubuo sa buhay kong to?
5 seconds remaining.
The Dire get a ban.
Here's the Radiant ban.
So, ito po yung itsura ng behind the
Sisiraan na ako na ulo, Aubrey. Anong gagawin ko? Natatawa ako, naiiyak ako. Natatay din ako eh.
Seconds.
Kuya, ano ba gagawin mo? Nakita mo naman may diferensya.
5 seconds remaining.
Ewan ko na, tatay lang ako ah. Ni, congratulations sa bago mo na, baby ah. May parehas na tayo na may baby.
Sino si Queenie na naman?
Si friend natin si Queen.
Anong friend? Hindi ko pa nga narinig yung friend ko eh.
Friend natin siya, o pribatiin mo na siya.
Ano sabihin ko?
Congratulations.
Pwede congrats!
Huwag ka na magselos, Aubrey, meron na tayong baby na. Ang gigigil ako sa'yo eh.
Hello sa inyong lahat, Delicious. Maraming salamat sa support at saka sa pagmamahal niyo sa akin. Thank you. Sobrang nararamdaman ko siya everyday kahit saan ako magpunta. And huwag kayong
5 seconds remaining.
I wreck any undersea cable I get my hands on. The Dire get a ban.
Radiant's turn to ban.
Dire's turn to pick.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to game number 2 between Lotac and Detonator. Of course, it is the Starlighter MBTV 2
Radiant's turn to pick.
SCA closed qualifiers. John, game number 1, Detonator. I mean, they found themselves slightly behind in the early stages of the game. However, later on, around that 10-minute mark, you just saw Raging Potato and Ben-Hur get started on the DK and Nakes and really start taking over the game. Game number 2, what did Lotac have to do differently to try and force us to a game number 3?
I feel like Lotac has to play their own game here. They have to draft what they're strong with. They shouldn't be playing around with counter picks in their draft directly related to Detonator's draft. If they have a plan, stick to it. Draft what they want, play what they want, and just try to do better than Detonator does in the game. That's all you can really hope for in these matches, Mike. Hopefully that's what we're going to see from Lotac. They do open up with the Troll Warlord and the Elder Titan. Not the biggest shakeup from the draft. They did open with the Troll as well in the last game. Partnered with the
5 seconds
good old
remaining.
Tusk. This time around they go with that ET, which does a fair bit of work. We saw it do a lot of work for Detonator in the last game. Maybe this time around Lotac will be able to make it work in their favor. We'll find out, Mike.
Certainly so. Of course, Raven was playing the position 4 last game around. We'll see if they switch him back. So, Detonator world, and they start off with the spin.
Dyer's banned now.
Very powerful heroes in this map. And of course, another one, the Keeper of the Light, will come out. Already, this does appear to be getting quite scary for Lotac. They have really started their draft in a very similar way, so I feel like Detonator they kind of know what's coming with the Troll Warlord. With the Keeper of the Light Sven, I mean, they probably already have enough to just deal with it.
10 seconds.
Yeah, I feel like even with
5
just that
seconds
support pick
remaining.
from Detonator, it's going to be a bit of trouble for the Warlord. If Cotton gets a good timing and hits level 6, it's going to be really disruptive in those team fights. You're going to be able to shove out waves quite fast. So in case Lotac goes for something with a lot of push capability, a lot of summons coming out, Keeper of the Light can clear those as well. And, you know, just having that Chakra Magic available with stun as well, that's a good amount of stuns falling out in the laning phase. So you will have to watch out if you're Lotac. I do like this opening from Detonator. It's pretty flexible, it's really strong as a support duel, and it does a lot of work. So we'll find out just exactly how Detonator complements this opening, but even with just these 2 years, Mike, I feel like they're off to a good start.
10 seconds.
Lotac, we will go through the ban stage course.
5 seconds.
The tusk and the silencer were there, but again, the silencer at the very least, it was a counter pick towards the Enigma that Detonator did manage to jump for themselves. Problem was, we have a very, very quick Guardian Greaves coming out of the Enigma that tends to just become quite useless. The hero, and at the very least this time, Enigma has been banned out from the side of Lotac. So again, they do have other problems in these early counters with these picks that have been made by Detonator. There's so much pressure on both these teams as well, because again, we see these guys in so many open and closed qualifiers, always getting so darn close to make it to a minor or major. Detonator now one game away as well from being in that grand final up against BMRD for that slot for SCA in this minor. That's just such a big deal, especially for a team like Detonator or BMRD. A lot of money, it's a lot of fame. Of course, DPC points never hurt. Well, these smaller teams. But nevertheless, second phase, both sides. Lotac will get started first up.
वैसे कि इस वीडियो को सपोर्ट भी नहीं करते, मतलब इसको चलाती भी नहीं है, तो आज हम इसको चेक करते हैं।
Quite a fair few options left in the pool. You could go back to that tusk if you so wish. You have quite a few position 5s that are still viable. I feel like if you want to go for something that can't push quite well, that isn't really threatened by, you know, being cleared up by a cockle, whereas you could go for the Shadow Shaman. Good amount of control coming out. The wards are always good at pushing. It's just a very strong unit to have. I think it complements the Elder Titan quite well. If you want to go for something with a bit more wombo, I mean, you know, wombo combo for team fights, could go with something like a Titan coming out. That's not field, although that is banned out by Lotac, my bad. They will, and you know, that could have been a good option, but again, that Tusk is still in the pool. The Shadow Shaman, they do go for that. It is good. Again, in combination, that Elder Titan is just really good, easy touch for the sleeve. Amount of damage coming out, great push. It's just very stable to kind of pick up, and it works well with the Elder Titan, so it's not really too surprising from Lotac to pick that up here.
Yep, certainly so. Good call out. That has come out. It doesn't really reveal much either from the side of Lotac. Still makes it so Detonator are kind of sitting there scratching their heads a little bit, wondering what the last scores are going to be.
Radiant's turn to pick.
Detonator, however, they will get back to that Bat Rider. We did see Sam H. He had a bit of a struggle in that laning phase because he was left up against a tri-lane burst. Didn't seem to bother him too much. Got a great timing on that blink dash. Still managed to make a lot of work happen with the level. So, again, Detonator not really too much themselves either. So, see where they go with this on the side of Lotac.
Seconds remaining.
Plus, the Monkey King is there if they want to go for that again, but it did seem like it was just a counter towards the DK that had picked up themselves.
3 to 8 hours. 328 hours. चलो इसको फ्रेंड्स
One did have a pretty nice game
और आप लोग देख सकते हैं कि ये वीडियो भी मेरे मोबाइल में नहीं चलाती.
Yeah, it's fair enough. I feel like he could do a lot of work. He was caught out a fair few times as well, but that was because of some pretty excellent midnight pulses coming out that last game.
यार हैरान
Like
होने
another option you
की
could
बात है
probably
कि
look
वीडियो
at is maybe
इसने
something like
आखिर बनाई
Revenge.
कैसी
Or
होगी और
Revenge
फिर
might work out
इसने
okay,
ये
especially
वीडियो
to
YouTube पर
counteract
अपलोड
that
कैसी होगी
lasso.
कैसे
I think it might work out. I'm not sure if you can really prioritize that now, as you do have the troll in. Whether or not you pick up that venge and safely troll down mid, that would shake it up a bit, and that does give you a counter to the lasso. I'm just not sure if that's worth the investment really in a pick.
Probably not. But then again, Lotac, they may go for it. I mean, this is potentially their last game in the close qualifiers. And if they've got any secret strategies, they've got to bring them out right here, right now. But we've got about 10 seconds of reserve time left as well.
Dire's turn to pick.
We'll go for the Abaddon, because that's one way to get the job done. Bodic Shield, very useful up against that lasso, but I don't know, we don't see this very often, you and me, John. How do you feel about the Abaddon pick?
I'm not too sure here, Mike. I feel like it's on paper it's quite good. As you mentioned, the shield is really good for counteracting that lasso coming out. It's pretty potent in lane. It can definitely bully off melee course quite fine. It can be a menace off lane. It's been a while since you and I have seen it. Really, I feel like we have seen Ohio play this here before in that offlane, so at least once. It's definitely not the hero you think of when you think of Ohio, but I feel like we have seen him play it before in the year that we've covered these sort of games. So I wouldn't be too surprised if he jumps on that hero in the offlane, and Ohio just has a way of really making anything work in the offlane, at least in his own item timings. Although in the last game it just felt a bit underwhelming with the Underlord, but that is down to just hero being so outfit. I am a bit worried for Lotac here, as I feel like Abaddon's not been in the best spot for a while. He has received a few changes here and there, a few number tweaks here and there, but I just feel like the hero is... He's not been amazing for a while, Mike, and I'm fairly sure there's a good reason why. It's just that I feel like he doesn't take towers fast enough, he doesn't have a good wave clear, he doesn't have the most amazing way of just farming back. He isn't the most amazing hero in fights. It just feels like the hero's in a weird spot where his kit doesn't provide you with too much for your team. It's definitely not the focus of this meta at all. We'll see if Lotac can work it out. I'm just mildly worried with these picks, Mike. It's just been odd. In the first game, you had the Underlord coming out, Silencer as well, to counteract that Enigma, and now this time around, we have the Abaddon coming out from Lotac, and I'm just a bit worried.
Welcome back, landlubber.
Well,
Get any salt
the
in
Death
your
Prophet
lungs?
was their detonator. It's one of those picks, John. It's played correctly, so darn
10
powerful.
seconds.
So much push comes out from this hero, and I mean, you always
5
mention you've got to
seconds
play
remaining.
around that exorcism timing, but not exactly too hard to do. For a side like
Dire's
Detonator that have
banned
been playing together for a while, wait out a couple more bans, see what comes out next. For Lotac, they do give the respect to the last and get rid of him immediately. Detonator, what will their last ban be, I wonder?
10 seconds.
I mean, at the very least, Lotac is missing core to
5
put in
seconds
the
remaining.
lane up against that Death Prophet.
Yeah, it does look like... I'm not sure exactly what you ban out here. I feel like... Yeah, I guess the puck's a fair enough ban. Just jumping in and out, clearing your backline. Reaching that keeper light before it can have an impact would have been pretty big for Lotac. So just that puck ban, there is some value in that for Detonator. It looks like they do lack a safe laner of their own, unless they run courts, which we've seen a couple of teams do, but I'm really not sure how in vogue that is outside of China. The only team we really saw that do was, I believe, PSG, LGD, so maybe it's definitely not the norm for hero. It's definitely much more common as a pause 4 sort of transitioning support. So let's see what Detonator does pick up to cover their bases here.
It will be the Terrorblade, apparently, so this hero just never seems to be out of meta as of late. Like, it always pops up here and there, and it always really leaves a splash. Looking very scary for the side of Lotac, I'm not going to lie, John. I think you'd agree with me on this one. So perhaps their last pick will change our minds.
Seconds.
I do like that pick for Detonator. I mean, it works quite well against the Abaddon. You know, just holding, if you drop low while Abaddon is trying to regen through his ultimate, just swap health after and he's dead. Lotac does close out the Lina. It's fairly standard pick, nothing too flashy for that mid lane which you want to play. Up against the DP. This is a matchup we haven't seen in a while, Mike. It's been a while since we've seen DP against Lina. I feel like that is definitely something the DP does without. As long as she has a good amount of siphon stuff, she can definitely hold that lane.
Yeah. Juan is a fantastic Lina player. Let's not forget it, but in terms of draft, it's not looking great for Lotac. I mean, they can get a great start again, but they're going to have to keep that start up. If they can replicate their early game they had in game number 1, there's just so many plays you have to keep down on the side of Detonator before they get out of control. See how well they can get the job done. Of course, Raging Potato, we are just waiting for him to pick up that Terrorblade. In last game, we saw what happened, John. They just left him alone. That offlane with his supports. And, I mean, there wasn't much Ohio could do as an underlord to shut him down on that lifestealer. Perhaps with the Terrorblade, it may be a bit easier to try and shut down this kind of carry, but gonna have to ensure that happens. In Scam, he didn't have the worst time either on that Battle Fury, on that Warlord in game number 1, but it just really didn't seem to matter at all.
Yeah, definitely didn't. I mean, he didn't have enough space to farm in that jungle. The activity from Detonator, their movement, their aggression just made it so that that early pickup just didn't pay off for Lotac, and they definitely needed to pay off now, Mike. I like, again, in terms of draft, Lotac is fairly balanced enough. That Lina last pick definitely hurts the Terrorblade quite a fair bit, because again, Terrorblade he has a high amount of EHP out from his armor. Straight up magic will pretty much melt the TV, so I do like that pick from Lotac. But again, when it comes down to the overall draft, it just feels like it feels a bit too slow coming out of Lotac. We'll see how it rolls out here, of course, but again, I just can't be that confident in this Abaddon pick. It's just been so long since we've seen this hero pop out. There's a reason why this hero has definitely tapered off hard. We'll see if Lotac can make it work, and here's the boss, right?
Absolutely. And SCA pause, one of our favorites. And as usual, John, absolutely no reasoning for the pause. But just a wait is all we'll get. That's perfectly fine.
Nah. It's just waiting. Waiting's a virtue, Mike. Patience is a virtue in Southeast Asia. Continue reminds us to keep it in check.
It looks like Sam H was having some sort of connection issue. We'll just wait on him. You'd hope this game was slightly longer than the last one, because I don't remember the exact timing, but it wasn't too far off 20 minutes that Detonator finished game number 1.
I believe it was around 26 minutes, might be. Yeah, definitely not a long game, not the fastest one we've seen, but I think that was the fastest one we've seen in 7.21, ourselves at the very least. So it was fairly quick as all things go, and hopefully this time Lotac can make your draft work out a bit better. I mean, I just can't feel too confident again. Abaddon, it's a great hero, it hasn't popped out for a reason.
Well, he has already queued up that Midas as well. Looks like Ohio trying to get that fast farm up. This Abaddon, we'll keep an eye on him. We'll see how fast he can get that up. Of course, Detonator again, going for a very, very early smoke, drawing that same line out like they did in game 1. However, this time they will find one. One will put the tree line for the moment.
Burns, doesn't it?
Barely missing out, although they will find some more heroes to the right. Let's come out, Yamate. Throughout the spirit. Looks like there won't be any kind of engagement coming from the side of Lotac. So I say that they will stick around. Brave is going to be there. And around the tower, Ara is moving around. Does have the stun up and ready to go. Sam H, of course, gets started with digging napalm. Should just be another in terms of bounty runes. Ara just trying to threaten Raven just a little bit.
Now we get the good stuff.
We'll be able to get himself two very easy bounty runes up at that top lane.
Yeah, again, not too much going on yet. I am keen to see how Detonator does run the lanes. Are you going to go for this tri-lane down bot, or give a bit more support up top? It does look like they will just do a tri-lane down bot. We do see a Raging Potato on his way down there. Flight Solar way far forward, and a restart is needed. Apparently so. A bit more of a wait back. Mouse problems coming up.
Absolutely. Does look like they gave the early brown boots over to Raven on that Shadow Shaman as well. In fact, never mind, no restart necessary.
Oh, this game is on.
That's quick, but interesting. Yeah, the brown boots are out for Raven. Not the most common start for Shadow Shamans, I have to say. In fact, I think it's been a while since you really... not many sports you go for the early browns. It does take a bit away from your lane sustain.
Nevertheless, Ohio will make the rotation back down to the safe lane. Just dual lane with for the moment. Yamate and Scam will be up at that off lane. Sam H is just there by himself. Does look like the dual lane, bot lane. As it stands right now, Fly Solo will be waiting for the courier in the mid lane. And it is making its way up. Let's have the talisman recipe given away off one, but can he get the courier? It looks like he can. A very nice slate coming from Fly Solo, though he may give his life away. No, he won't. Make his way out there safely. Again, that's a really nice start for the side of the Dire.
Definitely is. Too bad he couldn't slow down at null, but all things considered, it's not the biggest pickup for Rich One. He's going to be missing out on a lot more sustain for himself in this lane, and you definitely need a lot of sustain going up against something like DP, who can naturally be in the lane no matter how much harass you pump out. So it's going to be hard for Rich One to match up here if Ben hurts his cards right for the next few minutes.
Solo does make his way up top. They will run the dual lane on the side of Detonator. Looks like Lotac has switched up and are actually running an aggressive tri-lane now. Have left Ohio once again by himself at that bot lane up against the dual now Raging Potato. And of course Ara on that spin. Looks like he may hold right here right now, and in fact they are going to go for a Metamorph mid. Ohio uses the shield, but I don't see him getting out of this one. Very nice first blood coming out to the wave Detonator at the 2.5 minute mark.
Yeah, it's a nice clean pickup for Detonator, and again, there's just really not too much Ohio can do there.
It's in a battle. Like once you've thrown that shield, all over, you just try and run for it. At the very least, right? Top lane will go for the shackles. Much doing it by himself. Have any help behind him, dish out some damage. But they are getting some decent farm onto their troll. Skim is a very happy man. Sam H can't really do much on that bat ride and really put this down. We saw the same thing last game. Ultimately, they may just prioritize making sure Red just continues farming up on that Barret Blade other than even bothering trying to shut down Skip.
Yeah, I think that's a fair enough point. I feel like in this sort of game, if you give the troll early farm and if Sam goes to the same build, you might not have enough time to really, maximize that early investment.
Decent time in the mid lane. Does have his bottle out now. Courier did actually end up with his thing rather quick, so it's like it wasn't really too impactful that that Courier had died. Lane, Ben hurt. Danger. You have Raven there on that should come and ready to get circles. Well, we'll be able to find himself a nice illusion rune to fill up that bottle. Ben very safely on the right side of that mid. But I don't really see an option for Raven to really and throw those shackles out. So he does make his way back up to the top lane. Looks like he would test by solo a bit on the Keeper of the Light.
And a disruptive attack pull. He does grab last hits for himself, so we're having time here. He would have been happy with kill and but he's not having a good time down mid. Chuan has definitely been get right. Now spacing himself up just nicely, and there's no real way for Ben-Hur to come in and grasp its spread siphon. Not with really the advantage that Chuan does maintain.
That's the thing with Chuan on this laner, like you see him playing this hero a lot. He does not like the back of his hand. Well, speaking of Raven, pop up the lane, show himself, and he has Ben-Hur with the shadows. Immediate rotation does come out from up, and it looks like so far Ben-Hur okay. They will actually go after Raven now. Ben-Hur throws out the Crypt Swarm. It probably won't be enough. Ara cannot continue the chase any further, but he does manage to save his death.
Yeah, that was the first Lagoon of the game, Chuan, just blowing it up like that. Really unfortunate it wasn't successful, but that was a very deep dive from Lotac. Very keen try. Good rotation from Detonator to counteract that. RR must be feeling pretty glad that he saved the DP, who has been having a rough time in this mid lane. So, just buying some time for Ben to get that level 6. It is up, but opts to go instead for another level from the Siphon. So we're not going to see any sort of fast push or team fight coming out from this DP just yet. He maybe probably going to be up by level 7, if not level 8, that level 1 exorcism, unless Detonator is really not keen on forcing any issue and just decide to farm up a bit. See the DP also just opting to mat Crypt Swarm and Titan in that case.
That's exactly what they did last game round as well on Detonator. Like, it didn't seem too concerned with early engagement. They just waited for the right time and made their attack once it was right. See RR bot lane, he does return and Raven could find himself in trouble. Raging does have the morphs up ready to go, but RR rather just get a nice big wall down. Does have eyes on Raven, and now they will make the dive. Stun will come out, Metamorphosis comes out as well. Raven actually getting blocked off by Ohio. Raven knocks shackles from him, but it's probably not going to save his life, and Raging Potato picks off another kill. However, RR will end up losing his life to Ohio, and now Ohio feels safe to move forward and try to go for this pickup on the Terror Blade. Eventually let it go, but dishes out some nice damage. Essentially, it just ends up being a 1-for-1 support trade.
Yeah, again, not the biggest trade in the world. That is support for support. I feel like it is a slightly bigger win for Lotac, I suppose. At least, all that the depth of the Sven does go all into Ohio's EXP pool, so it's a slightly bigger win for him. At the same time, it's definitely not targets he wanted to kill in that lane, Mike.
Dire's middle tower is drowning.
Top lane, fly solo, chase down the won't really be able to lock him down enough. Again, we'll just try and clean up some creeps for himself. Because Raging Potato has started to take over in terms of net worth. Like, he's already 700 gold ahead of the secondary, which is Scam on that troll wall. We saw the same thing in game number 1. It does kind of indicate a bit of a scare for the side of Lotac, I feel. Again, they have a very similar draft as last game as well. Though mid lane, they have found Raven and RR, but the body blocks are very nice. The Spirit Weapon is there as well. He has no choice but to turn back around, and Ben-Hur will just take him out mid lane. And RR on this Sven has been setting up very nice kills for his team. Top lane as well. Looks like Sam H. Going to take the case onto Scam. Does not have a lasso available. The Abiotic Shield will be there from Ohio to save the day. Now Sam H can find himself in danger. He couldn't get up the cliff. It was just a millisecond off. Firefly does wear out. But nevertheless, a nice rotation from Ohio lane as well. Ben-Hur trying to go after Raven. It looks like we'll be able to find him. So can they find Chuan as well? Alright, he does have the stun available now, and they have found Chuan. So more rotations are, but they're all fighting under that exorcism. Ben-Hur another. In fact, Sken comes in. The blinding light was there, and he turns around with that Spirit Siphon. Yamate gonna be in danger. They do have the stick charges on for that mana, but the Detonator are gonna be satisfied with that, with the kills. They do back off the safe.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you should really engage P, who has Exorcism and a bunch of Spirit Sights himself. Did try to contest it, it just wasn't. The timing was definitely way off. The Exorcism went on its way back, Ben-Hur just healed back full, basically, and you're stuck in an awkward position now, where Scam is having to commit in that mid lane, but there's really nothing to show for it.
Looks like the whole side of Lotac have switched up lanes. Skip in the mid, behind he goes to the off lane up against Sam H, but Sam H is okay for the moment. However, Yamate will find the stop. Ohio biding his time. Now, can they body block him up enough? Flame break as well. Sam H may go for the neutral deny, but he won't be there in time, and it's a very nice pickup coming out from Ohio and Yamate.
Yeah, definitely the kill, killing core is always good. They do slow down Sam H's timing a bit more. He is still level 5, not quite in that level 6 mark, and definitely nowhere near close to the items he wants yet. Slowly building up, but it's been a rough time for Sam H in this top lane.
Dire's top tower needs
bot lane now. Potatoes. Up and pushing a T2 bot tower. Higher, the only man there to defend is kind of surrounded as well, and looks like the pings are coming out from Lotac to indicate there are other heroes, although Ohio continues moving forward. Does have the ultimate available just in case he gets into danger. Just try and force them to back off a bit, and they will do so. This is one of the strengths about the Abaddon, John. Like, once you hit that level 7 mark, well, he's level 9 now, it's very hard to contest in the battle.
Yeah, he is definitely a bit too tanky early on in the game. He has a lot of durability and sustain, and with a rework to Curse Fatherness, having a silence of its own, can be a bit annoying trading to them, I feel. But again, the question is whether or not Ohio will have the same impact as the game is starting. Right now, it feels like Lotac is buying as much space as they can for his Scam to farm up his battle once again. Once that BF is up, can control the map to maximize that. Detonator is already being quite aggressive and active around jungle on the bottom Radiant side. I'm not sure if they can find enough space for Scam to farm up again this game.
Well, they're going to go after a higher lane. He does have borrowed time and does pop it, and maybe the thing light will send him back, and now he turns around. A very nice stop, but the Will-O-Wisp will be there to make sure they can't come in and clean up. But they still haven't found Ohio. They're doing a lot of damage, however, with that Spirit Sight and down. Circle being dropped on Raging Potato. He does manage to get his way out of there, but they are on the runaway. Raging Potato, nice thunder comes down onto the troll, and they get scammed as well. Ohio falling very a little bit to Laguna. Will take the out Raging Potato. Can they find Ohio? Absolutely not. In fact, never mind they can. Ben-Hur does find him, just barely, but it's a 2-for-2 trade. And in all honesty, I can't really say who came out on top because both carriers didn't really just go down. Raging Potato was a very high value target.
Yeah, losing Potato isn't the best thing for Detonator. At the same time, they took out 2 cores in that engagement, whereas take the core and the support. So I guess if you're Detonator, you're kind of happy. But I feel like Raging Potato was definitely worth much more in that fight. So it's still a slight win for Lotac in the end, as their cores are too far behind to really care about too much.
They might find more. Like getting caught out. Chuan is there. Very nice play from Raven to set that up. Now Ben-Hur trying to make a run for it, but the Hex was there as well. And sticking around a bit too long, we'll end up with 2 more heroes on their side.
Yeah, that's a bit confident from that still hammer areas too. They knew Lotac still had a good amount of heroes in that area. They just fought in that area. And they opt to stay there. A bit of an odd choice from Detonator. You definitely can't give those kinds of kills to a team like Lotac and still play catch-up. I mean, Skeptic is going to have that Battle Fury of maybe the next minute and a half, 2 minutes. Once that's up, Detonator is going to have to really push the map a bit more. The control's not as good as it was in Game 1 at this point in time, and definitely want to stop Scam from farming. He's been farming okay. He's playing catch-up quite nicely. The moment overtakes Raging Potato's TBD is the moment I'd be worried about Detonator being playing here.
Yeah, but it's certainly a while away. I mean, 1.3k is the difference right now, net worth between Raging Potato and Scam. And of course, that Battle Fury will speed things up quite a lot, but he still has to go for that. And we'll actually go for a smoke now on the side of Lotac.
Fortified their structures.
Again, we'll be joining them as well. Looks like Sam H target. They actually find him. Sam H just stick around that tree line, and Skem has broken the smoke to farm up. So Lotac is just waiting behind him, and they're just hoping that they can bait the side of Detonator out, but it looks like Raging Potato has spotted him with the illusions, and now they're making an immediate run for him. Chuan desperately trying to find a Yule's target, but nobody really around. Like, Potato thinking about turning this one around himself. He's got a Metamorphosis, but there's a lot of heroes there. Thunder all up and ready to go, and now Ben joins in. Swamp was there from Elder Titan, and it looks like that should be it for the moment, though. RR also chasing, finds a stun onto the Elder Titan. Again, they're diving really far for this, and now RR gonna find himself in trouble. Though he does have the shield available. I'm kind of shocked to see that they didn't take that team fight, but they do end up backing off themselves.
Yeah, both sides are definitely playing a bit safer around this time. Mike not really going for the aggressive moves and just kind of shakily trading blows, not really committing to any sort of big initiation. I'm not sure who really wins out there, as that was a lot of heroes just running around up top. I guess in the end, they're kind of happy Raging Potatoes just farming in the jungle, we leave at some point, but that was a fair bit of time wasted from both sides. It does look like Lotac will keep the pressure up. They have wards available, so that tier 2 could be under pressure fairly soon, Mike.
Yeah, certainly so. Sam H will be there, but again, the Serpent wards have been dropped. RR is his way in. Very dangerous. Clear those out. They do hex him up immediately. Now the stop as well as shackles. Just everything being thrown out at this spin, and they do find the pick off. They just want a very easy T2, and it looks like they will be able to get it. Nice little play coming out from Lotac, and Detonator really just didn't seem to know how to respond to that.
It definitely seemed like Detonator wasn't keen on really defending that tier 2. They only threw up what? Again, the Sven and the Bat Rider, he just got his bank. Really not much of defense at all. I think Detonator was going to accept that. With wards up, they were just going to lose that tower, which is fair enough. It looks like they might give away their, have given away their mid-tier as well, so that bit of mid-control is gone, but it's pretty late to be gone anyway, 16 minutes in. I don't think tier 2 up, Detonator now, the tower was fall at some point.
Bot lane as well, being pushed in again by Raging Potato, the Ohio, on that Abaddon. Be able to get in there and make sure he was protected. Meanwhile, attack just taking over the jungle Detonator. So map control does appear to be going the way of attack for the moment. But while I was saying that, he does also manage to pick up that Battle Fury now. So, I mean, this is what you really wanted if you're on the side of Lotac, right? Like, you want to have map control as soon as Skem got that Battle Fury so he can actually get some farm going.
Yeah, I mean, they've done a good job to secure that, although... Yeah,
right. In trouble, they don't need to kick that asset for range. It's very easy to complicate her, and it will be. Meanwhile, however, RR got caught out. Laguna was committed, but does manage to just big charges and walk away from that fight safe.
Yeah, not the biggest loss in the world, not getting that kill in RR. I suppose the support for a support would have been nice, but again, not too upset if you attack right now. You just have definitely bought a lot of space. Troll to really farm up, and farm he is. He's working towards what looks to be an F and Y coming out soon. Maybe KB Yasha, I'm not quite sure with that Ogre Club, but anyways would do a lot of work for Skem here. And we'll see if he does at a decent time. He's been doing fine. He's had free farm for a while.
Detonator will make a push now. Exorcism is available. What's the Metamorphosis? They are trying to find a nice little pick-off before they can for the team. They may end up being a hard back, but that's a hard part back. Never mind, they get fine with the so straight onto Chuan on that Lena. They're quite pressing down. Get the Elder Titan and that Willy Winter keeps Chuan in there. Make sure they keep him out. Now Skem in a lot of danger. Up pop the battle trance, but he eagles up and he's in a lot of danger. And he just goes down, I'm sure. He can't really heal himself up fast enough. They did die accordingly at the very least, and I believe that was the Serpent wards that got it. the 3 heroes lost the start of Lotac. It may just be a Roshan as well being lost. Then hit the pit immediately on the Detonator.
Yeah, there's no way you can really this out Lotac at this point. You can try, of course you still have the drop. I just think it's going to be prudent, as you know, the roof is going to fall every time your fleet is on. So, completely free Roshan going to give Detonator, and I feel like that will help them maintain the pressure here. One unfortunate thing from that team fight is, of course, that you couldn't use that DP ultimate to really get a push for a bit too far out.
We're not taking anyone though, Lagoon. We'll take down Sam. Mention that Roshan so low right now, but they quite take it. Raging Potato out of the monsters and hurt. No criticism either. Gonna get started on Ohio, but doesn't have the borrowed time available. For the moment, they continue the Roshan. It's so darn low. Ohio, managing to in by himself to try and snap it out. Borrowed time was committed, however, and won't have that available. Even he ends up losing his own life in backline. Now Ohio going to be the target. He's so tanking that ultimate, though apparently he is. He'll again, but the Roshan so low. He finishes, yes, he has to stop. The Aegis is still on deck, and it looks like there are aims to snatch it off the side of Lotac, who got the Roshan kill. But you think Chuan almost ends up falling, and they want to chase on to Sam. But a very, very nice stun coming out from Chuan to make sure they can't be on the Warlord. So they got the Roshan kill confirmed. And they do force the Aegis to go out on the sixth, and they take that immediately. I guess Lotac, they're going to be very happy with that. As well as that, John, they did force out the attack from Smash.
Yeah, definitely a good trade for Lotac. I'm a bit surprised that Detonator was really a bit sloppy there. It's just not really getting what they wanted from that first hit. I'm quite surprised that Lotac managed to find everything they wanted. Like, getting that Roshan goal, making that Aegis basically works. It's a very good win for Lotac. Took him a lot of time to let Scam catch up. And catch up he is, as he is slowly approaching. Look again, I think the BKB is going to take precedence here. So, he pushed the Yasha. Afterwards, that's fair enough choice. As long as Scam is controlled, he has free reign in these fights, I think.
Sure does seem. BKB certainly going to make a difference in these fights. Of course, top net worth is still on the side of Detonator. Potato has not backed off the farm and is going to be going for a very, very quick Scardy on that super plate. He does have 4K gold, like he's going to have it done soon. Lotac is so now, Raging Potato doesn't make his way into the enemy jungle. Lotac not interested whatsoever in any communication right now. Exorcism and a leave are both up.
Radiant's bottom tower has been
Detonator
denied.
can get in range, try and take some towers down. Ohio, though, bot lane did manage to deny the tier 2 bot tower. Nice gold being denied from Detonator. And it also looks like Ohio is just about to pick up a full Radiant, for instance.
Yeah, that's Radiance is really when you start getting past the abduct. You just all have that on for a fairly long time. The output is pretty good if you think about it in terms of total damage done to the enemy team. It's going to be really hard to deal with for Detonator if that don't really have the most amazing burst to really just Ohio's avalanche yet. So if the fact that he's got pretty decent timing in it, it's going to be really potent for Lotac.
You just saw Detonator as well. They drew out a line going through that bot lane towards that tier 3 tower. I'm not sure if they intend to go through with that pretty soon. But Ohio does manage to now pick up that Radiance. The Lotac perhaps to fight. Let's show it as well. Detonator taking the tree line. You opt to back up. And now it's come Lotac, but they want to try and get the S's here.
Radiant are scanning for
But
enemies.
coming out as well, they just caught twice on the edge of that. How do you initiate into this? The smoke is now broken. Ohio, of course, the first man in. They can't really press the target, but the target. It's a lot of that. Now they've got the snowboards down. and the spirit is falling very low. Will it be enough? Raging Potato, he'll barely get the thunder off. So much time, and they will burst him down. However, they will lose Ben-Hur in the process. They will doing so much work for the side of Detonator. Keep this team fight. Oh, double stun RR. Raging Potato thinking about going back in. Raven will target. The shackles will be there, but they won't be enough. They will find close fly solo. As a trade, to the side of Lotac and Hano, he target doesn't have info borrowed time, but the storm's coming up from the total tide, really dragging up this team fight. They're gonna find at field Sam H. They should be able to get and they do. Now Skip looking for a bit more. Can't quite find it, but that was definitely a nice win.
Very nice, very clean win for Lotac. And again, a bit sloppy from Detonator. I feel like they're definitely not initiating so far. So
I know. Just not to get anything right now. But Raging Potato has a lot here from battle, though. Doesn't come in at a higher. Only stuck around a bit too long. Went losing his line. He did manage to snag that boundary, however, suppose you could argue it is a nice goal going towards his team.
it's something going to team. I don't think you really want to lose Ohio at this point in the game. Not with hits at this point. It would have been very big if they managed to get the kill in Raging Potato, admit. If they managed to get our Raging there, you know, it would have been worthwhile whether or not Ohio lived, but does get away with his life. I feel like Detonator has to run out of time, their talents coming out. Raging Potato needs that reflection cooldown to come out, so you can really be a nuisance to the opposing team like that. And I feel like you definitely need a bit more on Sam H's Batrider. 4 staff should be out at this point, and once that's out, it will make your initiation much easier to pull off. Otherwise, it's really hard. I don't think Detonator can really start these fights on their terms fully yet without that instant pullback from Batrider. You also kind of want a blink on your spin at some point after the fight, perhaps. Just having that initiation, having those initiation options are going to be really helpful, because right now, again, Detonator just seems to rely on a blink blast coming out from Sam H.
But the team sticking back for the moment again, going back to that farm. Scam doing a fantastic job on that troll now. He's getting very close to Raging Potato on that TB. To be fair, he's still about almost 3k behind, but it didn't really seem to matter too much in that last engagement. Of course, Raging Potato going to be going for a BKB of his own on that Terrorblade. Does feel like he's going to need that magic community, especially that Shadow Shaman and the Lena. Well, lane. You look at Rush starting from the side of Detonator. Blind Health will be there, and he does actually have a go RR on that spin. Does get the stun. The surfboards as well being dropped, and it looks like this should be a very easy pick-off onto the support spin. Not sure how it worked all over the surfboards, but still, at the very least, he's gone for 35 seconds. He's going to feel safe here on the Radiant side.
Definitely so. It's at the very least, you slow down that Sven again is building up. Once that pipe is up, I feel like you definitely put a bit more in your Sven. Probably go again. That blink dagger is going to be really useful for Detonator. It's going to help your initiation quite a fair bit. Even even some more aura items to complement the pipe and the Vlads would be pretty strong. But again, it's all down to what Detonator wants, and they're just waiting on some core power spikes right now. Raging Potato with at level 20, and a few items coming out from for Sam H. So I feel like before then, you're not going to see Detonator really force the issue too much here.
Lotac, they have smoked up. RR again, closest target to them right now. Yeah, put it. So higher, a few stacks of the neutrals in the jungle. are still waiting for somebody to run by their path. So it does look like Detonator will smoke up on their own. Well, they run straight into Ohio. That's the last target they want to go for right now. Meanwhile, in the backlines, it looks like Raging Potato was caught out a bit, but they are going to continue moving forward straight onto Rave. But where the hell is the damage? They've all been put to sleep. Raging Potato finally brings out the BKB to start racking up Skem, who has been ripping apart his backline. RR is pretty gone. Now Skem wants to get the hell out of there. And it looks like Lotac not interested when that X came out, that they did force the buyback out of the Shadow Shot. And now Juan finds a stun. Can't find any more, although Rave jumps in with that buyback and does help set up the kill onto Raging Potato. Now they will go after Ben-Hur on Death Prophet. No X's left. She will end up going down. And Lotac again finds very, very clean engagement themselves.
Yeah, the very worth buyback from Raven there, having him in that fight really secure that kill onto Skem's Terrorblade, to Raging Potato's Terrorblade, and really cost Detonator a lot. At this point, it's starting to feel a bit iffy for Detonator. They're not taking these fights the way they should be. Their initiation, I have to say, is a bit sloppy, and Sam H just hasn't been as disruptive as you'd want in the battle. You really want them to immediately be taken out of the fights, but their initiation has not been pointed. So, you know, it's really hard for Detonator at this point to take a fight. Because again, the team fight from Lotac is just that good. You have the other fight, and you have the Shadow Shaman. You have a Abaddon that you can't ignore anymore. It's really hard to deal with, and you really need to push their numbers advantage with one clean pick off first.
Well, the Roshan being taken by Lotac, of course, Aegis will go to Skem. Alright, looking to set with that Godstrength. Lasso as well, want to burn up that Aegis. Raging Potato jumps in, no Metamorphs available on him. He 4-star back, but this doesn't look great for the side of Detonator. They are still trying to take down the Aegis of Skem, and they will finally get it. That'll be all they get, surely. So no, never mind, they will jump in again. Skem though, turns around, and he's just going to rip apart Flying Soma, who ran way forward. Now RR as well is going to get taken down by Skem, and they've got another in Sam H and Detonator. I'm not sure what the game plan was there, John, but they're about to lose a tier 3, and probably at least the Rats.
Yeah, no buybacks on Sam H or any of the supports. Basically stuck to defender in their own 2v5. I'm not sure how much you can really do here, or you can really hope for if you're a Detonator at this point.
Well, one Rack's gone. The big secondary as well coming out for the side of Lotac. They can't go for the third because there is still a tier 1 and tier 2 tower, but just taking on these two Racks as we put them in quite a lead. Speaking of lead, they're worth 8k now their way. Yeah, man. Such a different game from game number 1. Just not able to get the same initiation off, and Lotac, they've really started to take over this game too.
They definitely have. It came up quickly as mentioned at 32 minutes in. Raging Potato now falling behind Skem, who had a bit of a rough start. I think where you really start to worry is that where it really shines when he's ahead. The fact that he's even sandwiched between the ports of Lotac is not a good sign. It's very telling. Sammy is way too far behind. You've got your Death who's behind as well. Their impact has started to get really minimal, especially the prevalence of BKBs coming out, Mike. It's hard for these guys to make an impact. It's all really riding on Raging Potato to get his items, to get his levels going. And I'm not sure if Detonator can hold out long enough with the deficit they have in this fight.
Well, Lotac will start moving forward with the smoke. They want to continue this aggression. Why the hell not? I mean, they've been doing so great with it as well. Another nice scan coming out from the side of Lotac. Well, they get that initiation with that. Spirit will help them out. Stomp will not connect on anyone, however. But it looks like they are just going to go and after that tier 1 bot tower instead.
Dire's bottom tower won't last
We really
long.
questioned the Abaddon pick coming out onto Ohio, but it's really paid off so far. The Detonator looping around the back line. They want to go after that Shadow Shaman and Arena first. Another smoke will come out, but it does get spotted. Ohio get in the right place at the right time, but the whip is going to be painful. The Black Bluff will knock him out Will-O-Wisp branch, and now Skem's to start right into them what they can. They will get rid of Tron. This doesn't amazing for Detonator though. They keep moving forward. Skem, he will take down RR. They're gonna try and go for that Elder Titan, and perhaps now they can take a good engagement. Skem is left pretty much by himself, but he does have a cheese and he does eat it immediately. The Blacks as well coming out onto Yamabe. Skem still surrounded, but man fighting up Raging Potato and will take him out. The Yukes as well saving him for a moment, and now they will find Ben-Hur, who looked like he may have been able to survive, but it's a triple coming out from Skem, and again, you've got to give it to Ohio, like, just being so darn annoyed on that after.
He definitely has been, Mike, and he's been playing this hero quite well, really doing what he needs to do, and just securing all of these fights for Lotac at this point. I have to say I'm really disappointed with what's been going on. I think Raging Potato held out in his Sunder for way too long. He was dropping way too low. Wanted to get a bit more value switching down. In the end, he just dies without using the Sunder at all in that fight, and that's a lot of waste from a hero that really depends stat, especially if he hits 25. I feel it was such a miss. If Raging Potato lived a bit longer, that might have gone favorably for Detonator if they managed to take out Skem, but that's not the case here. Raging Potato died fast, and well, they're down to their last set of racks. No tier 3s available more to hold that off, and it's just a matter of time until Lotac decides to push the issue and take mecha creeps, even in the game. Detonator is definitely pushed to the back line now, Mike. Axe against wall. They need a little more to come out before really forcing the issue.
Yeah, I mean, Skem's getting out of control as well. Like, he's got a fly now on that troll. Oh, man, this is going to be a hard troll to kill. Going straight into that Satanic as that last item. What the hell would you even do? Octarine Core as well coming out now into Ohio, so he just becomes that much harder to kill. Mention the shield spam that comes out from him. Just so many ways to protect Skem on that Troll Warlord until he can pop that Troll Trance. And they're just on the full defense. Sitting up that high ground, making sure they don't get anyone picked off before the engagement begins. While Lotac, they will of course continue up the farm while they can. Try to finish that Satanic Skem before they try to engage in the next team fight. They could even just wait for the next shot, honestly, like if they wanted to play it really safely.
Yeah, again, it's not in Lotac's end to really force the issue. Now, we are approaching a point where the TV does start to feel a bit behind, especially this kind of net worth. He's falling behind even Ohio right now in terms of net worth. And really not a good spot for Detonator. All their gold is really just riding on Raging Potato. I mean, there's not much gold on Becker, there's not much gold on MH. It's really all on Raging Potato right now to do the damage, be in front, to get everything done in these team fights. And I don't think his Terrorblade's nearly equipped enough to do expected of him.
Nevertheless, continue that farm, Roshan. We're going to find out in about a minute when it's up. Although this game has started, but it is Ohio that they're trying to go up against him. He's not afraid of anything right now. Trying to burst him down just a bit, but he literally seems like the cops damage is happening.
He really doesn't.
Yeah. They're going to start moving forward now. You can't blame him. Lotac wanted to try and finish this game off. Force has to drop. How do you even approach this if you can decide that they will? They're going to move forward and try forward. Skem still 4 HP. Finding light, it delays it just a bit, but Skem is not afraid, and now the stop as well. They've caught 3 of them out. But Lotac not engage. They'll just take this slow instead. Almost trying to prompt Raging Potato to waste that metamorphosis and all the X on Ben-Hur. They don't really pull the trigger quite yet, but they are just one range racks away from losing from gaining mega creeps on the side of Lotac. Double damages as well now, coming out on Skem to make matters even harder.
Dire's middle tower is drowning.
Sam H, the tree line on the right side. Find the lasso, but High again just moves in. Skem, yeah, you stop, but he'll be alright. The stun will be there as well, but they can't really chase into that. Ohio again just keeping for the Lotac. And that final rack is gone as well. Skem will just take it out, double damage. More than happy to back off safely as well. Then, they're going to try and find something. The Will-O-Wisp has dropped as well. They're trying to go after Shadow Shaman, though Skem, meanwhile, the back is going after Raging Potato. But he is still not down. They solved him up thanks to Ohio. And with that, I mean, no buyback available in Raging Potato. How they defend this? They've lost another in Sam H, and they're going to lose the third one in Ben Hur. Call GG for play. They've had enough, John. And now we have a very convincing win coming up from Lotac for game number 2.
Yeah, in Lotac, who fixed the mistakes they made in game 1. They had enough space for Skem to farm up, but maybe just on the back a bit too long. Not really getting enough done. Sam H didn't get quite the amount of farm he wanted. I feel like that DP potential was a bit wasted with, push kind of slowing down in mid-game. So, very well played from Lotac.